Hey everyone, welcome back and happy winter solstice. It's the winter solstice as of me recording this video today. We're going to get into some more astrology for the week of December 22nd to 28th, 2025. So this will be our last full week of December. As we head into the final week of 2025, the cosmos shifts into a more grounded and determined tone. The sun's recent move into Capricorn, as of today on the winter solstice, marks the start of a focused, ambitious season. We're motivated to set goals, honor commitments, and reflect on the year's accomplishments with a practical eye. At the same time, a gentle wave of creativity and compassion flows through midweek, giving the holidays a dreamy, romantic glow. This week balances Capricorn's hardworking spirit with Piscean imagination, inviting us to turn year-end reflections into inspired plans. Emotions run deep but clear this week, and by the weekend, an energetic first quarter moon in Aries will be propelling us forward into the new year, into the final week leading into the new year, because we have a couple days left in December after this week. It's a week of grounding and growing, perfect for wrapping up the year with wisdom, warmth, and purpose. Three major transits going on this week. On December 24th, we have Venus squaring Neptune and Venus entering Capricorn. And then later on December 27th, we have the first quarter moon in Aries. Venus is in Sagittarius and Neptune is in Pisces. So we have idealism and love and creativity, but with Neptune, we always have to be watching out for those illusions. Venus will be transiting out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn, following the sun, which just transit on the winter solstice, which brings relationships and values taking on a serious and committed tone. And then the first quarter moon in Aries brings a pivotal burst of energy, pushing plans into action. Going into this week, it's important to note that we just had a number of planets sitting in Sagittarius. We have Mercury sitting in Sagittarius still right now. We have Venus sitting in Sagittarius still right now. And we have Mars, which is just transit out of Sagittarius into Capricorn. And we also had the sun just transit out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. So everything was basically in the house of Jupiter and is now moving out into this Saturnian time that we have at the end of the year in Saturn's sign of Capricorn. So on Monday, December 22nd, 2025, we have the moon entering Aquarius, bringing a fresh social vibe. And then, of course, we have the moon in Capricorn, because Capricorn comes before Aquarius naturally. We also have the moon conjunct Pluto once it's moved into Aquarius, which brings deep emotional intensity to the surface. So the moon's shift into visionary Aquarius this morning lightens the mood. After a practical Capricorn moon, Aquarius energy inspires independent thinking and friendly connections. We feel more detached from heavy emotions and open to new ideas. This is a sociable influence that encourages us to reach out to friends or community. You might notice a desire for freedom and innovation. It's a great day to break free from routine and try something unconventional and intellectually stimulating. Embrace this breezy mental clarity to brainstorm or simply enjoy the company of like-minded people. And then we have the moon conjuncting Pluto on the same day on Monday. By afternoon, the Aquarius moon aligns with Pluto. Even in cool, heated Aquarius, Pluto's touch brings an undercurrent of intensity. Emotions that surface now are powerful and transformative. You may experience profound insights or confrontation with deeper truths. In a practical sense, this could manifest as a brief but deep conversation, a meaningful revelation, or intense mood swings. If you find yourself or others acting obsessive or urgent, then take a step back. This transit invites emotional purging and renewal. Release what no longer serves you. Balance the heaviness by leaning on that Aquarian objectivity. Observe your feelings without letting them overwhelm you. The evening offers a chance to process and rebalance after this cathartic moment. So that's enough for Monday. We'll move on to Tuesday, December 23rd. We have the moon sextile with Mercury in the evening, which brings easy conversations and mental connection. Venus and Neptune energy builds towards midnight. Hey Kenny, what's up, buddy? You coming to sit? What's up, bud? This evening, the Aquarius moon gently sextiles Mercury and Sagittarius, opening channels for understanding. Communication flows more freely now. A welcome relief if the day started off quiet or serious. It's an excellent time to catch up with loved ones, write cards or emails, or share stories over dinner. Aquarius and Sagittarius are both sociable, idea-driven signs. So conversations might be lively, humorous, and future-oriented. You could stumble upon inspiring information or advice. With Mercury and optimistic Sagittarius, there's a silver lining to every topic. Enjoy the friendly mental spark. And note any bright ideas that emerge. Late tonight, Venus in Sagittarius nears its exact square to Neptune, casting a dreamy haze. You might feel creativity or romance blossoming, but also some confusion creeping in. That'll be that Neptune bringing confusion and illusion creeping in. That's why you got to watch out for illusions this week. Keep things light and truth-oriented, and you'll ride smoothly into the night. Yeah, because we have a lot of things going on with Neptune this week. We have a lot of things going on with Neptune this week. On Wednesday, December 24th, so this brings us to Christmas Eve, we have Venus squaring Neptune. Like I said, a lot of things going on with Neptune this week. Peak of a romantic, dreamy influence. Venus also enters Capricorn. So we have another one of our planets moving out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. Venus joins the party of planets in Capricorn, and the moon squares Uranus, where the afternoon brings surprises or mood swings. And Uranus is in Taurus. The moon enters Pisces, which brings mood shifts to the level of sensitive and compassionate. And then moon sextile with Venus, which brings sweet, gentle feelings in the evening. So that's a good way to end off on Christmas Eve, I guess. Sorry, I got Kenny over here chewing on his toy. I don't know if that's loud or not. I feel like he did it in the last video, and I don't think I could hear it after I was listening back. So if after this one I can hear it, then I'll make sure he's not doing this. But he's staying out of my way right now, so that's good for us to get through these days. I'll try to have Kenny keep it down a little bit, right? Right, buddy? Thank you. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. In the early hours, Venus in high sprinted Sagittarius squares Neptune in dreamy Pisces. A potent aspect. You gonna get that? I'm not gonna get that. You go get it. Good boy. In the early hours, Venus in high-spirited Sagittarius squares Neptune in dreamy Pisces, a potent aspect coloring all of Christmas Eve. This energy is enchanting and mystifying. On one hand, it heightens compassion, creativity, and romance. You might wake up from fanciful dreams or feel especially inspired by holiday magic. And I mean, we have mention of Neptune getting involved here, but we also have Saturn that's sitting in the last few degrees of Pisces right now as well. So, I mean, there's no direct aspects that are being highlighted this week with Saturn, but I mean, it is conjunct with Neptune, so it's that brings a bit to the holiday magic. It's as if the world is viewed through a soft focused lens. Love and beauty take on an otherworldly glow. On the other hand, Neptune can blur boundaries and reality. Be mindful of unrealistic expectations today. In relationships, you may be idealizing someone or yearning for a storybook moment. Enjoy the romance and the imagination, but keep one foot on the ground. If you're celebrating, the mood is truly magical on Christmas Eve. Just double check details from travel plans to recipes, since this foggy influence might cause oversight. Allow yourself to dream, but avoid making irreversible decisions until clarity returns. Venus also leaves fiery Sagittarius and steps into earthy Capricorn. With that, a noticeable shift occurs in matters of the heart and wallet. Capricorn is very concerned about financial matters, the wallet, work hard, get money. Venus in Capricorn brings a more serious, responsible approach to love, finances, and pleasures. Over the coming weeks, we value loyalty, stability, and long-term results. In the context of the holidays, this transit could manifest as heartfelt commitments. Some may literally be giving rings or defining relationships. It's an influence of quality over quantity. We prefer meaningful gifts and gestures that stand the test of time. You may feel more reserved in expressing affection, but deeply devoted underneath. It's a great time to set relationship goals or budget for the new year ahead. Today, as Venus enters Capricorn, amidst festive activities, we might find ourselves reflecting on what and who truly matters. Love gains structure and purpose now. Passion remains, but with a plan. In the afternoon on December 24th, the Pisces moon, which is still late in Aquarius earlier in the day, forms an intense square with Uranus and Taurus, bringing a jolt of surprise energy. Emotions could change without warning. One moment you're feeling peaceful and cooperative. The next you might be restless or irritated. Others around you may act unpredictably. And this is Uranus that always is bringing disruptive situations or surprise energy and things like that. It's the planet of disruption, right? So that's the kind of themes that we're looking at with Uranus. Others around you may act unpredictably. Plans could see sudden changes, perhaps an unexpected guest or last-minute change in dinner timing. The best approach is flexibility. That's the best approach with Uranus generally. So Uranus squares tend to break us out of complacency. Maybe a new idea or an unconventional solution arises from a minor disruption. If you're in the midst of holiday preparations, double check anything technical. Uranus rules technology, and give yourself extra time for the unexpected. This influence is brief, lasting only a couple of hours, so ride out any afternoon quirks with humor and openness. These surprises lead to memorable stories and creative twists. By the evening on December 24th, the moon glides into dreamy Pisces, setting a tranquil, tender tone for Christmas Eve night. When the moon is in Pisces, our emotions become porous and empathic. Hey, buddy. You might notice people are more sentimental, forgiving, or nostalgic now that the moon is in Pisces. This is perfect energy for the holiday. It encourages charity, spiritual reflection, and heartfelt connection. Music, candlelight, and family traditions, especially moving under the Pisces moon. You may feel like you're floating a bit. Tasks and to-dos are less important than the feelings in the air. If you find a quiet moment tonight, you may feel drawn to reflect on the year's end and say a prayer of gratitude or something like that. Pisces is a very mystical sign. It's probably the most mystical sign in the zodiac. So saying a prayer or showing gratitude is generally a good Piscean theme. The boundary between our individual selves and others softens, so it's a beautiful night for universal love and understanding. Just be aware that sensitivity is high. Protect your energy if you feel overwhelmed. Overall, the moon inspires a magical, compassionate Christmas Eve. So that brings us to Christmas Day, December 25th, Thursday. The sun sextiles the moon early in the morning, which brings harmony between will and emotions. The moon also sextiles Mars early in the morning, but closer to noon, an active positive push of energy, and then the moon conjuncts the north node in Pisces in the mid-afternoon, a faded tone of compassion. Venus-Neptile square influence lingers, adding magic to the day. In the pre-drawn hours of Christmas Day, the Capricorn sun softly sextiles the Piscean moon, setting a tone of inner peace and balance. Most of us will sleep through this exact aspect, but its gentle harmony permeates the morning. There's a natural alignment between our rational side and our emotional side. You might wake up feeling content, centered, and ready to enjoy the day ahead. This cosmic accord between the sun and the moon brings a sense of wholeness. It's a reminder that we can both be productive and feel deeply at the same time. As you start your holiday, you may notice cooperation comes easily and there's an undercurrent of goodwill. Even if you have a busy or bustling day ahead, there's an ease in navigating it. This subtle influence helps everyone get along and appreciate each moment. Late in the morning, the Piscean moon forms a friendly sextile to Mars in Capricorn, giving us a nice boost of enthusiastic energy. After a dreamy night, this aspect helps us to get moving. Perfect for Christmas activities, whether it's unwrapping gifts or cooking a big meal or playing with the family and all of the gifts that everybody has opened. Mars in Capricorn provides steady drive and organization, while the Piscean moon ensures our actions are kind-hearted. Together, they encourage helpfulness and generosity. You might feel motivated to assist others or initiate a fun group activity. If you need to do something that requires effort, even a holiday workout or a post-feast cleanup, this transit has your back. Overall, it infuses Christmas Day with warmth, productivity, and a spirit of active kindness. In the afternoon on Christmas Day, the Pisces moon aligns with the North Node in Pisces, adding a subtle but meaningful depth to the day's events. In astrology, the North Node represents our collective path forward. And with the moon here, we feel a karmic, faded undertone. You might experience moments of profound empathy or a sense that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Encounters and conversations could carry extra significance. Perhaps a kind of gesture or family reconnection touches your soul deeply. Pisces energy is all about universal love and spiritual understanding. So this conjunction suggests that the true meaning of the holidays shines through. It's not so much about the material gifts, but the compassion and the unity. Some may feel called to forgiveness or to reach out to someone who's alone. Trust any intuitive nudges to open your heart. This is a perfect day to create cherished memories that align with your highest values. Venus's square to Neptune is still an orb on Christmas Day, which enhances the day's dreamy spiritual quality. Combined with the Pisces moon energy along with the North Node, Christmas carries a magical, almost otherworldly glow. Just be mindful of over-idealizing. Enjoy the enchantment while staying practical when needed. On Friday, December 26th, so this brings us to Boxing Day, we have the moon squaring Mercury, a bit of morning miscommunication or mental fog. Then the moon trines Jupiter, which is a midday wave of optimism and generosity. And then the moon conjuncts Saturn, an evening reality check or subdued mood. And then the moon sextile Uranus, late night emotional refresh or surprise relief. The day after Christmas starts with the Pisces moon squaring Mercury in Sagittarius, which could create some early morning confusion. Minds and hearts may not be on the same page initially. Perhaps you wake up groggy or find it hard to articulate what you've been feeling. If you're back to work or running errands, double check communications. Texts or emails could easily be misunderstood under this influence. In a family setting, a simple comment might rub someone the wrong way. The key is patience. This aspect is short-lived. Take your time easing into the day. A moment of meditation could help clear any mental cobwebs. By mid-morning, this fog lifts, so try not to get frustrated over any minor mix-ups. With Mercury in outspoken Sagittarius, words might be very blunt, and Pisces moon can be very sensitive, so use kindness in conversations. Listening carefully and explaining oneself clearly will smooth over any bumps. Around the middle of the day on Boxing Day, spirits rise beautifully as the Pisces moon forms a harmonious trine to Jupiter in Cancer. This is a genuinely uplifting and lucky influence. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and in carrying Cancer, it amplifies nurturing and emotional abundance. Meanwhile, the Pisces moon adds empathy and imagination. Earlier, I had said Capricorn deals a lot with money, but Jupiter is the planet of abundance. So I mean, we have that contrast between the two of them. It's more so Jupiter rules abundance, whereas Saturn or Capricorn is more focused on hard work and climbing the ladder, so to speak. Being the goat, right? You have it, well, it's the sea goat, but mountain goats climb mountains, right? So it's also an earth sign. So you have the goat climbing the mountain, whatever mountain that way may be, financial or whatever. That's the energy of Capricorn, whereas Jupiter rules abundance overall. Meanwhile, the Pisces moon adds empathy and imagination. The result, a flood of generosity, gratitude, and goodwill. You might feel especially thankful for your blessings today. Acts of charity or kindness are richly rewarded under this transit. It's a perfect time to share leftovers with a neighbor, donate to a cause, or simply spread joy. On a personal level, this trine can bring good news or fortunate opportunity. Some may experience an unexpected gift or support from a family member. It's also a very social vibe. Gatherings or outings this afternoon are likely to be jovial and satisfying. Bask in this positive energy. It reminds us of the inherent goodness that surrounds us. If you need to smooth over any conflicts from earlier, now is an ideal time to forgive and forget. Optimism and emotional warmth carry the day. By the evening, the moon, now late in Pisces, catches up to Saturn in Pisces. Here we are. Now we finally have Saturn coming in with its stay in Pisces, bringing a quieter, more reflective mood. After a day of expansiveness, this can feel a bit somber, like the calm after a high. You might suddenly feel the weight of responsibility or touch of post-holiday blues. And Saturn has a number of planets sitting in its domain right now at this point. We have the Sun, we have Venus, which went on Christmas Eve, we have Mars, and we have... I'm missing one. Maybe not. Regardless, moving on. Saturn is the realist of the zodiac, and when the moon meets it, we tend to get grounded swiftly. The moon, there we go, that's the one I was missing. Don't be surprised if energy levels dip or if you find yourself craving solitude tonight. Emotions could lean towards seriousness or even melancholy. For example, you might be reflecting on the passing year, missing absent loved ones, or simply feeling tired after festivities. The key here is a self-care and perspective. Saturn's influence isn't meant to depress, but to help us process and learn. I'm going to read that again because I feel like most of us miss the point with Saturn in that way. Because Saturn being the lord of boundaries and structure, we feel a lot as though Saturn is limiting in our lives. But Saturn is probably the greatest teacher of all of the planets because Saturn may often seem like this depressive force, but it's restructuring you for a greater objective, is the way that Saturn teaches its lessons. And in studying astrology and going through all of this stuff for myself in my own chart, I've really been able to pick out all of the times that Saturn has presented gifts to me in my life in the form of learning opportunities or restructuring of my life. My Saturn return definitely had an impact on, or definitely stood out in that regard. So I'm just gonna read that again. Saturn's influence isn't meant to depress, but to help us process and learn. Saturn is one of the greatest teachers. If there's anything I know, it's that Saturn loves you. If heavy feelings arise, honor them. Journal, take a relaxing bath, or have a heart-to-heart with someone you trust. Know that this is temporary. The moon will leave Saturn's embrace in a few hours. Sometimes a quiet night of introspection is exactly what we need to recharge. Allow yourself to rest and digest all of the recent excitement. By tomorrow, this grounded energy will begin to lift. Late in the night, the moon, at the very end of Pisces, forms a gentle sextile to Uranus and Taurus. And this is the interesting contrast between Uranus and Saturn, because Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, where Saturn predominantly rules Capricorn. Aquarius is considered its second sign from before Uranus was discovered. Aquarius was aligned with Saturn, where Capricorn is the work hard, structure, grounding boundaries. Aquarius is the innovative, inspiring rebel. And community-minded rebel, where Uranus in modern astrology is the ruler of Aquarius. So leaving Saturn basically alone with Capricorn. So it's almost as if the sign of Aquarius itself decided to innovate and break out of Saturn's bounds and free itself from the shackles of Capricorn. And here we have Uranus. So anywhere that Uranus is disrupting and stirring up chaos or dissolving boundaries, this is Aquarian themes and the nature of Aquarius and the nature of Uranus. So Saturn is the structure and Uranus is the wrecking ball. This aspect is like a breath of fresh air blowing away the earlier heaviness. If you're still awake near midnight, you might experience a second wind or a sudden positive shift in mood. Perhaps a late night conversation brings a liberating insight, or you decide to do something spontaneous and fun on a whim, impromptu stargazing or anything like that. Uranus represents change and novelty, so this sextile can help us let go of lingering gloom and embrace a more hopeful vibe. It could also bring an unexpected solution or idea if you've been mulling over a concern. Even in sleep, this energy works to gently release subconscious tension. Embrace any odd but pleasant impulses. Uranus encourages authenticity. By the time the moon moves into the next sign, Aries, earlier in the next morning, you'll be ready to shake off yesterday's weight and start anew. This is the universe's way of saying better days are always ahead. So that brings us to the weekend. On Saturday, December 27th, we have the moon conjunct Neptune really early in the morning. A dreamy, ethereal late night aura, which is, it's basically at 2 o'clock in the morning, so a late night aura. The moon enters Aries at 2:57 a.m., which is bringing an energy shift from sensitive to bold. The moon squares Venus in the morning, later in the morning, bringing tension between feelings and desires. And the moon squaring Mars, which is an evening of high energy and potential irritability. Just after midnight, as Friday turns to Saturday, the Pisces moon emerges with Neptune, Pisces' ruler. If you're asleep, expect especially vivid dreams. This is the stuff of mystics and imagination. If you happen to be awake, you'll notice a deeply meditative, otherworldly feeling in the air. The line between reality and fantasy blurs. Emotions are extremely sensitive now. We absorb the mood of our surroundings like a sponge. This is a wonderful moment for spiritual practices, creative writing, listening to music, or any gentle activity that connects you to the divine. However, it's not time for making sense of practical matters. Logic is on holiday. Let your intuition guide you. For night owls, inspiration can strike in these wee hours of the night. For everyone else, this transit might translate into waking up on Saturday with a lingering sense of wonder or symbolic dream messages. Jot down any insights that you may have during your sleep. The moon-Neptune influence washes away as the moon prepares to leave Pisces, but it leaves a trace of magic as a parting gift. Before dawn, the moon springs into fiery Aries, and suddenly the emotional tone shifts from water to fire, from contemplative to action-oriented. Aries moon The Aries moon wakes up with a jolt of enthusiasm and impatience to get going. Over the next 2 days, expect your insights to be more direct and your moods to be more impulsive. This morning, you might feel a burst of motivation, perhaps to tackle those post-holiday chores or to get outside and move your body. Aries brings courage and spontaneity. After the soft internal Piscean phase, this feels like lightning and spark. You could notice a stronger need to assert yourself or put your personal needs first. Used positively, the Aries moon is fantastic for initiating projects and injecting passion into whatever it is that you're doing. Just watch out for a shorter fuse. Tempers can flare quickly under this moon, under this influence, and burn out just as fast. If you find yourself or others getting suddenly frustrated, take a breath. It's simply Aries' straightforward emotion at play. I chuckled because I have an Aries moon, so reading this, it feels like a personal attack. Overall, this lunar ingress provides a welcome energy boost. The weekend won't be boring, that's for sure. On Sunday morning, the Aries moon clashes at a square angle with Venus in Capricorn, creating a bit of tension between our feelings and our values. The Aries moon is impulsive and wants things now, while Venus in Capricorn values patience, propriety, and long-term thinking. You might feel a tug of war. Perhaps the desire to indulge or act freely conflicts with a sense of responsibility or decorum. For example, you may want to spend the day on a personal adventure, but duty or family obligations call you elsewhere. Needs could feel at odds with your independent streak this morning. This aspect can also manifest as social or financial friction, maybe sudden expenses, or a disagreement about final plans. The key is compromise. Both Aries and Capricorn are cardinal signs, which are leadership oriented, so try not to lock horns. Give yourself a healthy outlet for that Aries fire. Exercise or project to ease any irritation. And again, that's funny. That's exactly it for the Aries energy. Exercise is a great outlet. That's what I use for my Aries moon energy to ease any irritation. Usually gets the blood going, and then you're handled. You're managed. Then you can address obligations more calmly. Fortunately, this influence passes quickly by the late morning. A little diplomacy and mutual understanding will get everybody back on track. By early afternoon, we reach our first quarter moon at 6 degrees Aries, marking a critical turning point in the lunar cycle. 1 week ago, we had a new moon in Sagittarius planting seeds of intuition. Now those seeds encounter their first tests and opportunities for action. In bold Aries, this first quarter moon practically shouts, do something about it. You may feel a strong urge to act on the goals or resolutions you set recently. This is dynamic can-do energy. It's normal around this phase to face a challenge that demands decisive movement. Perhaps a problem arises that requires courage to solve, or you simply feel a surge of confidence to break through a previous obstacle. And this is the funny thing about the moon. Like you read, oh, at this point you're gonna be faced to solve some kind of problem. But that's how the moon works. The moon, each planet or each placement in astrology represents a different length of time. Like you have the sun that runs on a monthly clock. Whatever day you're born on, from the 21st of this month to the 21st of that month, or to the 20th of that month, then you're Taurus or Gemini or whatever, right? But then the moon works on a 2.5 day clock, and then the rising signs work on a 2-hourly clock. So everything's running at different speeds. But when you look at the moon specifically, the moon has its own sort of cycle where it has a new moon and then it has a full moon. And if you really pay attention to the lunar energy around the new moon and the full moon, you can tell that they're very, very different energies. The new moon is very calm and relaxed and introspective and dark, obviously. But then once you get to the full moon, you can literally feel that energies are rising higher and there's more going on. There's more, I don't want to say action and conflict because that's, I mean, a Mars related thing, but emotions are high. You know, you've got lots of energy going on. I mean, I've heard before that hospitals and police stations and just emergency services often have more staff on hand on a full moon because more chaos ensues on a full moon. So when we talk about these stories that come up at you know, the first quarter moon or the half moon or wherever the hell we are, it's literally the moon telling its story over the course of 29 days. It runs on a monthly clock, and every month we have a different story because we have a different new moon and we've got a different full moon and we've got, you know, so I mean, some of it may seem repetitive from month to month, but that's exactly how it works, is because the moon is running on that monthly clock. So it resets every new moon and starts anew, and it rises and then hits its peak at every full moon, and then it drops back off for another 2 weeks, and then it resets again at the next new moon. So you know, every time we do a monthly astrology video and we come to the new moon or the full moon, you'll often hear astrologers say, oh, it's a new beginning every time we come to a new moon, or, you know, something in your life is hitting its peak at the full moon. It's because that's literally what's happening on the lunar cycle, on whatever sign we're dealing with. It's telling that story through that monthly timeline. So Aries' influence means that the way forward is often through initiative and bravery. If there's been hesitation with something in your life, today provides cosmic encouragement for you to overcome it. You might literally start a project, confront an issue head on, and that's Aries. Aries is a very headstrong sign. It's the warrior. It's the first one of the zodiac. Every sign actually represents a part of your body, and Aries represents the head, the horns. It's the leader. Aries is a cardinal sign, like we went over earlier with Capricorn and Aries. The cardinal signs are the ones that lead the season. So they fall on the solstice or the equinox, and they lead the season ahead, right? So that's Aries. It's overcome hesitation, push forward, fight, independence, headstrong. So in that energy, you'll likely be brought to take a bold step in your personal growth. Embrace a spirit of leadership and authenticity. Sometimes first quarters bring tensions that spur on us, internally or externally. But remember, it's all part of the growth process. By pushing through discomfort now, you're setting yourself up for greater achievements and clarity by the full moon next week. Use this Aries momentum to your advantage, trust your gut, and go for it. Yeah, because Aries doesn't like to sit around. It's the ram. It just likes to butt heads and go. We'll clean up the mess later, you know? On Saturday evening, the Aries moon bumps into a square with Mars and Capricorn, a fiery and potentially feisty combination. Both Aries and Mars are hot-headed influences. Mars ruling Aries, so emotions could run very high. You'll likely feel a surge of energy and assertiveness, but also a shorter temper. Little annoyances might suddenly seem like big deals under this transit. And that, yeah, again, that's the thing with Aries. It doesn't like to lull over options and like this or that. this is one thing in exploring my chart that I've learned, because I've often said that I don't really understand or get along well with Gemini, because Gemini is too indecisive. It's too up in the air. It's too many options. It's too much, throwing ideas around. It's just Aries is just pick an idea and go for it. But that being said, little annoyances might suddenly seem like big deals under this transit. If you're out and about, remember others may be more on edge as well. It's an ideal time to practice patience on the road or in crowded places. The upside is that this aspect provides tons of drive. If you have a physical activity to do, like a workout or a big house cleanup, you can channel this force productively. The key is conscious direction of energy. Without a focus, Moon-Mars squares can lead to silly arguments or impulsive actions we may later regret. If you notice yourself becoming irritable or slightly competitive, take a step back. One thing I like to do if I notice that I'm getting overly annoyed at things going on is I will literally pull out my phone and double check what sign the moon is in on that day, because I've noticed that on Aries moons, things will come out of the woodwork just to try and piss me off. And it's always things that are so ridiculously annoying and absurd that it couldn't possibly be me that's the problem. So I get flared up and overly reactive to these things, but I've learned over time that the Aries moon actually does play a significant role in my life, because not every time, but most of the times that I pull out my phone to check, I'll be like, oh wow, it's an Aries moon today. I should calm down, because clearly it's the energies at play and not just me getting angry or flared up about things. But it's also not other people's faults in those instances, because they're getting played by the same energies that I am. So this is where astrology really gets you an understanding of the bigger picture, because once you can bring it up to that higher level of consciousness, then you can almost let it go. And this is where I feel like people get that idea of letting it go to God. Don't mind Kenny in the background. He's just having a sip of his water. This is where people, they say, give it to God, let it go and let God handle it. God gave us astrology. The depth to which astrology is valid and real is really worth following, and that's exactly it. When you give it up a level, when you move it up a level of consciousness, it allows you to let it go and see it from that higher dimensional perspective, and it's relieving and it's peaceful and it's acceptance on a level that you couldn't have understood before when you previously didn't follow astrology or didn't have the knowledge of this kind of system or this kind of awareness, right? So yeah, if you notice yourself becoming irritable or overly competitive, then take a step back. A bit of movement, maybe a brisk walk or dancing it out, can relieve the pressure. And I've heard there's a question that shamans will ask when presented with depression or depressive symptoms and things like that. One of the first things they'll ask is, when did you stop dancing? Because once you start moving your body, even to no music, you notice that there's a natural flow in the human rhythm. And once you lean into that flow, you will literally shake out the negative energies. So again, a brisk walk or dancing it out or a workout or something like that can relieve the pressure. A run. I often like to run. Also, watch for accidents born of haste. Both Aries and Mars can be headstrong, so slow down if you're moving too fast. This influence is a brief peaking in the evening and then fading afterwards. By late night, the intensity drops off and you can relax. Treat this transit like a quiet thunderstorm. intense but passing. With mindfulness, you might even use it to assert yourself in a healthy way or finally tackle something you've been procrastinating on. Just aim for assertion over aggression. So on Sunday, December 28th, we have the moon squaring Jupiter, bringing a tendency to overdo or overindulge, and then the moon trining Mercury. Easy communication and reflection at the day's end. Sunday afternoon, the Aries moon forms a challenging square with Jupiter in Cancer, bringing a wave of exaggerated feelings and urges. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and in sensitive Cancer, it emphasizes comfort and security needs. You know what? I am going to make myself more comfortable, I think, because I'm sitting like that, and I would much rather sit in a meditative position. Oh, that is actually so much better. I should start doing this from the start, realistically. I forgot exactly where I was, but I'm just going to jump back in. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and in sensitive Cancer, emphasizes comfort and security needs. Turn up my brightness there. My eyes are falling asleep. With the moon in bold Aries, you might find yourself swinging between impulsive enthusiasm and indulgent comfort seeking. This could manifest as craving one more slice of pie, hitting the sales for items you don't really need, or promising more than you can deliver. There's a buoyant optimism in the air, generally a good vibe. But the caution is against excess. Watch out for overcommitting yourself or overspending today. Emotionally, this transit can make us feel lazy or carefree to a fault. It's okay if you want to lounge and relax. It is Sunday after all. Just be mindful of any extremes. Aries wants action, while Jupiter in Cancer wants coziness. The results may be starting tasks, not finishing them, or feeling restless but unmotivated. The best way to handle this energy is to find a balance. Enjoy yourself, but in moderation. Perhaps plan a fun, fat physical activity. Perfect. Aries moon loves movement, followed by a hearty but not over-the-top meal. Jupiter in Cancer loves food and family. In social settings, laughter and stories might get loud and exaggerated. Just roll with the humor and avoid touchy subjects that can blow up. This transit is often jovial and could bring some good-hearted laughter. Just keep expectations realistic. A little restraint will ensure the luck and positivity of Jupiter come through without any regret later. If you've made it this far, like this video, subscribe to my channel to get more of our astrology videos. I'm going to do a final wrap up for the week here. Thanks for sticking around this long. I really appreciate it. Would really love some more subscriptions and some likes on my videos. Would really help the channel going forward and help me keep the channel going forward. So on Sunday evening, the moon, still in assertive Aries, finds perfect harmony with Mercury and Sagittarius, forming a trine aspect that smooths out conversations and thinking. Conversations and thinking being themes of Mercury. This is a lovely way to end the week. After any afternoon excess or laziness, our minds re-engage with clarity and positivity. The Aries moon provides honesty and directness, while Mercury in Sagittarius adds humor and big picture insight. The result? Conversations that are both candid and uplifting. It's an excellent time to talk through the events of the week with someone, or to do some personal reflection. You might gain sudden understanding of what you experienced during the holidays, those little epiphanies of, oh, that's what was meant for me. If you journal, the pen could fly across the page tonight with enthusiastic recounting and future plans. Communication with friends or family at a distance, perhaps a phone call to say thank you, could be inspired to start mapping out the New Year's goals or exploring travel ideas for next year. There's a nice confidence in expressing feelings under this trine. If something was left unsaid, now you can speak it with warmth and optimism. Overall, the Moon-Mercury trine ties up the week's loose ends in a friendly, philosophical mood. Take some time this night to share stories, laugh, and maybe learn a nugget of wisdom from it all. You'll head into the week feeling mentally lighter and emotionally heard. So that's Sunday. I'm going to wrap up the week. As December 2025 fourth week wraps up, we've navigated a meaningful blend of imagination and determination. The tone was set by Capricorn's grounded influence. With the Sun and Venus in Capricorn, and Mars there too, we felt a pull toward responsibility, commitment, and realistic planning. This provided a steady backbone through the holiday bustle, reminding us to keep our eyes on what truly matters. Yet threaded through those days was the shimmering energy of Neptune in Pisces, casting a gentle spell of compassion, creativity, and spiritual reflections. We experienced the height of that through the Venus-Neptune square and the Pisces moon journey. Moments of dreamy joy and romantic idealism that made the Christmas celebrations feel almost enchanted. For many, these translated into deeply heartfelt connections and a renewed sense of hope, even as we had to be careful of seeing only what we wanted to see. The week's challenges taught us in equal measure. Venus squaring Neptune warned us about over-romanticizing or getting lost in illusions. We were reminded to love what is real, not just what is ideal. The moon's meeting with Saturn brought a brief emotional low on Friday, a reality check that balanced out the week's highs. It's often when the festivities quiet down that our feelings catch up with us. And this aspect let us integrate our experiences with some mature perspective. Meanwhile, the fiery Aries moon over the weekend stirred up both courage and conflict. These quick moon squares to Venus and Mars may have sparked minor tensions or impulsive reactions, but they also pushed us to assert our needs and to clear the air. On the upside, the cosmos delivered plenty of gifts. The Moon-Jupiter optimism gave us heartwarming confidence, and Mercury's interactions helped us communicate and understand each other better. The first quarter moon in Aries was a turning point. Many of us felt like a surge to move forward, to put plans into motion as we gear up for the new year. This week's balanced dreams and reality. We were encouraged to envision something beautiful. Thanks to that, the Pisces-Neptune influence. And then take the practical steps to achieve it, courtesy of Capricorn's guidance. So that's the final week of December wrapped up, the final full week of December wrapped up. I'm still going to have another video for the last few days of December and the first couple days of January, so taking us right over that's the week of New Year's. I still am going to be putting out my monthly video for January and then a yearly video for the year of 2026 before New Year's. This is actually much more comfortable sitting in a meditative position. I might start like this next time. So I really need to loosen up. I feel I've loosened up more since I've changed my seating position. So anyways, if you like this video, you like this kind of stuff, you like my astrology breakdowns, then please like this video, subscribe to my channel to get more, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Take care.